Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Chris with Inside the U, just right outside the Miami Hurricanes team hotel here on Miami Beach. 3 days are going to be here leading up to the national championship game on Monday. And look, for some people that are curious why they're staying here as opposed to just waiting to stay at a hotel for the night before the game, it's just because this is just protocol for the college football playoffs. Indiana arrived today as well. They're going to be in a team hotel. And really, it's set up this way to not give either team an advantage, even though it's at Miami's home stadium. So they're going to be here, and look, internally, I don't think there's a lot of worry about this team, even though they're staying on South Beach. I think this team is focused. That there's a lot of veterans on this team. For people that are worried about distractions or anything like that, I think they're going to be just fine. And they know what's at stake. They know what they've been working towards. So I'm not expecting any issue these next 3 days, and just a little bit of a timeline of what's to come these next 3 days. So Media Day on Saturday morning will be here on Miami Beach as well. All the players will be available, coaches as well, and that'll be great. I definitely will be there and looking forward to covering that. And I was actually over there today at the convention center, got a chance to see the Media Day setup. It looks great. They're actually going to have fans in attendance, and so they're going to be able to, fans are going to be able to see that as well. So Media Day is definitely going to be a big event. It's over there at the Miami Beach Convention Center. Fans can watch, and it's also the location of the Playoff Fan Central. And I was able to be over there. And real quick, huge shout out to Aviator Nation. They hooked me up with this hat here, this national championship hat, and I'm going to show you guys their booth. They've got Miami Hurricanes, some hoodies there, some shirts as well, and definitely check out their booth there. And it's in, just in that Fan Central. It's where all the shops are. They have a lot of vendors where you can go get some merch. So definitely do that. Again, huge shout out to Aviator Nation. I really like their products, not just the national championship gear that they have, but they got other good stuff as well. But just want to definitely pass that along as they hooked me up with this hat. But just the Fan Central, it was great. It's a free event. It's going to be open Friday, Saturday, Sunday from 10 to 6. And just being over there, I already put together a video. You can kind of see what it's about, but definitely huge, a lot of activities and things for people to enjoy. It's definitely a good experience, and I definitely recommend it if you're looking for things to do leading up to the game. Definitely go over there and check that out and kind of really just soak all of this in. As I've been talking to people about this game, and I'll get more into, there's some thoughts on the game that I want to pass along, but my first year was 2003, and that was the year after Miami played in the last national title. And I kind of joke with people, that's like, essentially, that's what I signed up for. This is what I signed up for when I decided to cover the Hurricanes. And I'm certainly glad that they're in this such a big spotlight with a chance to win their 6th national title. There's no doubt about it. And just a few notes from the fan event that I was at. Former Hurricane Greg Olson will have a meet and greet at the Capital One booth tomorrow at 12:30 for an hour. And then on Sunday, Dan Marino will also be at the same booth for an hour beginning at 11 a.m. So you can go and check that out. But I ran into some former Hurricanes at the event. And immediately when I walked in, I saw former Miami basketball player Robert Height. He was there. And then I ran into Jalen Rivers, former offensive lineman, and had a good chat with him. And one of the things he's been impressed with the offensive line this season was he really credits them for their consistency, kind of week in and week out, playing at a high level, and that's really stood out to him. He also said, it's been great seeing them not deal with any injuries really all season long. All those 6 primary guys that they've been going with, as they got in that left guard rotation with Matthew McCoy and Samson Okunlola there, and I think they've done a great job at that left guard spot. But Jalen has been very impressed, and he will be at the game on Monday. He was actually picking up some gear today for his family, some new gear as well, and for himself too. So, I just think about seeing Rob and Jalen, and look, in the team hotel just moments ago, I saw David Njoku. So, and that's what this game of this magnitude is going to bring out. There's so many people that have been involved with the Miami program for years, and I can only imagine their excitement level for all of this, for Miami being on the biggest stage in college football. And I just think how many people are really going to be pulling for this team. Certainly, and locally as well, and even at the fan event, tons of people excited about the Hurricanes too, and it's great to see them as well. Good to see some Miami flavor. Driving in, you could see the Indiana billboards around town. So it's certainly interesting to see that. But look, it's going to be all Miami. Just if they can win their 6th national title here at their home stadium. It is going to look a little different, though. I do want to point this out. The stadium's going to look a little different in terms of its layout. The side paneling there, and certainly the field will look a little bit different. And the crowd, look, it seems like it's going to be one of those 50-50 splits, maybe a little bit more Miami fans, certainly, but it's just going to have a different feel on Monday night. But one thing I could say about being at the fan event today, going over to the media event where they're going to have a press conference with the coaches today, I was there as well, downtown, and then here at the team hotel, you're really starting to feel the magnitude of this game, how huge everything is. You'll see it tomorrow at Media Day, and for those who tune into all of the coverage there, but just all the amount of media people that are here, but just everything just seems to be on a bigger stage. It's starting to feel that way. But the players, on both teams are going to have a few days to kind of soak it all in and just kind of get ready. And I think maybe it will take some time these next few days to get ready, to mentally prepare themselves. But I think both teams on Monday night, by the time the game comes along, that's why I think it's great both these teams are essentially getting ready for it, be it at their hotel here on Friday, as opposed to the day before, because they have some time to prepare essentially mentally. But I think both these teams are going to play at their best on Monday night. Just a couple other quick things before I get out of here. I definitely do want to mention that, at least internally, there's definitely a lot of positive buzz within the program about Duke quarterback Darian Mensah taking over at quarterback for Miami next season in the transfer portal, kind of at the last minute here. But definitely pay attention to that name. Again, there's a lot of positive encouragement. I can report that from Miami. So we'll see how it plays out. But Darian certainly was a great player, won the ACC championship with Duke this year, transferring over there. So definitely pay attention to that. And then just lastly, I want to make sure I make this point clear, getting ready for the game there on Monday. And it's Miami's cornerback situation. Look, Xavier Lucas is going to miss the first half because he was ejected for targeting in the second half of last game. O.J. Frederick dealt with an injury last game, so we'll see how his availability is going to be, but he played less than 10 snaps last game. And so, and Damari Brown has missed all 3 of their playoff games, so we'll see about his availability. Hopefully get some eyes on him during our 15-minute viewing period at practice tomorrow. But just the cornerback situation, a very deep room, looks a little bit different, at least for that first half. But we'll see. They still have quality players. Ethan O'Connor, obviously Keontae Scott, the nickel spot. They're going to need freshmen. Regardless of who plays, you're going to need freshman Jabari Antoine to step up once again, like he did last game, in the Fiesta Bowl, playing about 15 snaps. But the cornerback situation is definitely going to be something to pay attention to, particularly in the first half against Indiana there on Monday. But that's going to wrap everything up for me. I've got a lot to get to because I've got to wrap this up, get back, and get ready for Media Day tomorrow, as well as practice, as well as other events on Saturday. It's going to be a huge day, but definitely want to thank everybody for your support. Thanks for watching. Have a good rest of the night, and take care.